Since the day you were born, modern life has been quietly running a biological attack on your body. Not a fast attack, a slow one. So slow you never noticed it happening. Your testosterone is lower than your father's was at your age. Your grip strength is weaker than a man your age 30 years ago. Your posture has collapsed in ways that would have been considered unusual just 2 generations back. Your sleep is shorter, your stress is higher, and your body is producing less of everything it needs to stay strong. And here is the part that should concern you most. None of this is your fault, but all of it is your problem. And every single part of it is reversible if you know what you are fighting. Let me give you the numbers first, because this is where most people stop believing me. Since the late 1980s, testosterone levels in men have been declining at roughly 1% per year. That does not sound like much until you do the math. That is a 30 to 35% drop in testosterone levels across a single generation. A man in his 30s today has significantly lower testosterone than a man in his 30s in 1987, even after controlling for age, weight, and health conditions. Grip strength has declined by 20% over 30 years, not in elderly men. In young men, the physical strength of the average young male has measurably declined within 1 generation. A man working a physically demanding job in the 1970s would have had a very different hormonal profile from a man of the same age spending 8 hours a day at a desk in 2024, and this is not just about looks or gym performance. Testosterone influences nearly every aspect of male health, including cognitive functions, energy production, mood, metabolism, cardiovascular health, fertility, muscle maintenance, recovery capacity, and overall well-being. When your testosterone drops, everything drops with it. The average man now sits for approximately 9 to 10 hours every single day. Work, commute, evening, sleep is the only time he is not sitting. Here is what that sitting is doing biologically. Your hip flexors, the muscles connecting your spine to your thighs, shorten and tighten permanently when held in the sitting position for hours. This pulls your pelvis forward, arches your lower back, compresses your lumbar spine, and destroys your posture from the hips up. Your glutes, the largest and most powerful muscle group in your body, switch off entirely when you sit for extended periods. Researchers call this gluteal amnesia. Your glutes literally forget how to fire properly. And when your glutes are not working, your body recruits your lower back instead, which is why most men who sit all day have chronic lower back pain. But here's the most alarming part. A sedentary lifestyle is associated with lower testosterone levels and musculoskeletal diseases. Every hour of sitting is suppressing your testosterone production. Not dramatically in a single hour, but cumulatively across years of daily sitting, the impact on your hormonal profile is measurable and significant. The fight back. Every 45 to 60 minutes of sitting, stand up. Walk for 2 minutes. Do 10 bodyweight squats. The movement signal tells your body you are still alive and active. Your glutes wake up, your hip flexors release. Your testosterone production gets the stimulus it needs. Research has shown that sleeping fewer than 5 hours per night can reduce testosterone levels by 10 to 15% in healthy young men. The proliferation of smartphones, social media, and 24-hour connectivity has fundamentally altered sleep patterns, with younger generations particularly affected. Here is the mechanism. Your brain produces the majority of its daily testosterone during deep sleep, specifically during the REM cycles that occur in the final hours of a full night of sleep. The hours between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. are when testosterone production peaks. Cut that window short and you cut your testosterone production directly. The blue light from phone and laptop screens suppresses melatonin production, the hormone that signals your brain to begin deep sleep. 1 hour of screen exposure before bed delays your sleep onset by an average of 45 minutes and reduces your deep sleep duration regardless of total hours in bed. The fight back. No screens for 45 minutes before sleep, non-negotiable. Blue light glasses if you cannot avoid screens completely in the evening. Sleep in complete darkness. Even small amounts of light exposure during sleep suppress melatonin and testosterone production. Target 7 to 9 hours not as a luxury but as a biological testosterone production requirement. With today's modern life and constant stimuli, many men are suffering from chronically high levels of the stress hormone cortisol. Cortisol and testosterone are both produced from the same precursor hormone. This means they compete for the same raw material. When cortisol production goes up, testosterone production goes down. They share a biological budget, and chronic stress has been spending that budget on cortisol for years. Modern stress is different from historical stress in one critical way. Historical stress was acute, a real physical threat appeared, cortisol spiked, the threat was resolved, cortisol's dropped, the system reset. Modern stress is chronic work deadlines, financial pressure, social comparison, digital overload, news cycles, relationship friction. None of these threats resolve completely. Cortisol stays elevated, the testosterone budget stays depleted, day after day after day. The fight back. Resistance training is the single most effective natural cortisol management tool that exists. Regular physical activity is one of the strongest natural boosters of testosterone. Resistance training, especially compound movements like squats and deadlifts, stimulates testosterone release and prevents age-related muscle loss. 2 to 3 sessions of resistance training per week directly lowers chronic cortisol levels and raises testosterone simultaneously. Not over months, within days of starting a consistent routine, the hormonal shift is measurable. Processed foods contain 2 categories of chemicals that directly impact male hormone levels in ways most men have never been told about. The first is xenoestrogen, synthetic compounds found in plastic packaging, canned food linings, pesticide residues on non-organic produce and processed food preservatives. These compounds mimic estrogen in the body. They bind to estrogen receptors and activate them without the body producing any actual estrogen. The result is an elevated estrogenic environment in a male body that was never designed for it. The second is refined seed oil, sunflower oil, canola oil, soybean oil, which dominate the ingredient lists of virtually every processed food. These oils are high in omega-6 fatty acids, which when consumed in the ratios found in a processed food diet have been consistently linked in research to reduced testosterone production and increased systemic inflammation. The fight back: remove seed oils, cook with butter, olive oil, or coconut oil instead. Reduce plastic food and drink container use, especially heated plastic, which releases xenoestrogens significantly. Faster: increase zinc-rich foods, red meat, eggs, pumpkin seeds, oysters. Zinc is the most critical mineral for testosterone production and the most commonly deficient in modern diets. The average modern man spends approximately 90% of his waking hours indoors. His skin produces virtually no vitamin D from sunlight. And vitamin D is not just a vitamin, it functions as a steroid hormone in the body and is directly involved in testosterone production. A study published in Hormone and Metabolic Research found that men with sufficient vitamin D levels had significantly higher testosterone levels than those with vitamin D deficiency. The same study found that vitamin D supplementation in deficient men increased testosterone levels by 25% over 12 months, 25% more testosterone from sunlight or its closest substitute. The fight back: 15 to 20 minutes of direct sunlight on your skin before 11 a.m. every morning, arms and face exposed. This is not optional wellness advice, it is a hormonal production requirement. If you live somewhere with limited sunlight, vitamin D3 supplementation between 2,000 and 4,000 IU daily is the most evidence-backed supplement a man can take for testosterone support. Here is every fight back action in one complete system. Against sitting: stand and move for 2 minutes every hour. 10 bodyweight squats minimum. This is not exercise, it is biological maintenance. Against screen disruption: no screens 45 minutes before sleep. Sleep in complete darkness. Protect your testosterone production window between 10 p.m. and the early morning hours. Against chronic stress: 2 to 3 resistance training sessions per week. Compound movement squats, deadlifts, pull-ups, presses. These lower cortisol and raise testosterone simultaneously better than any other intervention. Against processed food: remove seed oils. Reduce plastic containers. Add zinc, red meat, eggs, pumpkin seeds at every meal. Against sunlight deficiency: 15 to 20 minutes of morning sunlight daily. Vitamin D3 if sunlight is not available. Here is what I want you to understand before this video ends. Your body was built for a completely different environment than the one you live in now. It was built for movement, not 9 hours of sitting. It was built for sunlight, not fluorescent office lighting. It was built for acute stress that resolves, not chronic digital anxiety that never ends. It was built for real food, not seed oil and xenoestrogen-loaded packages. It was built for sleep in darkness, not blue light screens at midnight. None of the 5 attacks I described require a doctor. None require a supplement. None require money. They require awareness and simple daily decisions. The men who understand this, who recognize the biological attack and make deliberate choices to counter it, are the men who will have the strength, the energy, and the physical presence that most men around them are slowly losing without understanding why. Modern life was not designed with your biology in mind, but your biology does not care about modern life. It only responds to what you give it. Give it movement, it gets stronger. Give it sleep, it produces testosterone. Give it resistance training, it lowers cortisol and builds muscle. Give it real food and sunlight, it functions the way it was designed to. The war is not over. It has barely started for most men because most men do not even know it is happening. Now you do. The next video on your screen right now shows you the 5 exercises that directly counter every physical effect of modern life. No gym required, and rebuild the strength that sitting and screens have been quietly taking from you. Modern life declared war on your body the day you were born. It is time to fight back.